Most homeowners, they know their house has equity, but so many people think of it only in one situation, and that's when they sell their house. But the truth is, they can use their equity in so many different ways long before that. So today, I'll walk through a few of the very common ways they use their equity in, and also some not that obvious strategies that people don't even think about. Before we decide how to use the equity, there is something that needs to be cleared up. So many times I would see people confusing equity with capital gains. Now, these are not the same things. Equity is simply the difference between what your house is worth and how much you owe on the mortgage. So let's say your house is worth $1 million and you owe $600,000 on the loan. So now this $400,000, that's your equity. Now, but this is not the profit. Profit is the capital gains. That's calculated differently. That depends on how much you originally bought the house for and how much you are going to eventually sell it for. In simple terms, we can say equity is something you can access while you own the home, and capital gains matters when you sell your home. One of the most common ways I have seen homeowners using their equity is when they decide it's time to move into another home. Now, needs evolve, families grow, life happens, and the house once felt perfect, it can start to feel a little bit tight. Maybe an extra room is needed. Maybe someone now works from home. Maybe a bigger lot, something. So now the equity can be used to make a down payment for the purchase property. So there are a few advantages when you have this down payment ready from the sale of a house. If it's big enough amount, your loan amount goes lower for the purchase property, and which can lower your monthly payments as well. Now, if you have more than 20% of the down payment, that would mean you can avoid mortgage insurance as well. And of course, it strengthens your position in a multiple offer situation as well. There are a few advantages, and that's why the townhome or a condo, so many times we call it a starter home or a bridge home between a rental and your dream home. The other very common use I have seen is the renovations. Now, so many times families would pick to renovate the one they already have rather than buying a new home. Now, this way, equity can be used to finance different projects such as kitchen renovations, bathroom upgrades, adding another bedroom or office, maybe upgrading the outdoor spaces. Now, this way, we can serve two advantages. First, the house will be more functional and comfortable for the family that's already living in. Second, some of these improvements can actually improve the house's worth over time. Spending equity for renovations can actually be a lifestyle decision and a long-term investment at the same time. Now, building an investment portfolio using this equity, it's one of my favorite strategies. Often this is done through HELOC, home equity line of credit, or the home equity loan to provide the funds for an investment property. Over here, we have to remember one very important thing, that using this equity, it's not free. It's not free money, of course not. There is a cost associated with it. So if we are using the equity to buy a rental property, the numbers need to make sense. Ideally, the rent from the property needs to cover PD, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, and the cost of borrowing the equity. So the goal is to create an asset that can support itself financially. So make sure running the numbers carefully, it's always the first step and a very important one too. In California, another increasingly common strategy is building an ADU, an accessory dwelling unit. And using this equity to finance the construction of an ADU, I think it's a brilliant idea. So let's run some numbers to see how it would work out. The average cost of the construction, I would say just a rough ballpark number, because normally it would depend on the size and the finishes. Let's say around $300 per square foot. So if we are building a small 600 square foot unit in the backyard, it should cost around $180,000. Now, we have to compare this with the potential rental income. Small ADU in OC should generate around at least $1,800 to $2,100 per month, which should cover actually the cost of borrowing this equity and should be able to put some extra money in your pocket. Maybe it can finance your mortgage as well. But let's not forget one thing. It also increases the overall value of your property. Another good use of the equity funds would be to put the next generation on the homeownership track. Now, today it's not uncommon to see the young professionals with strong monthly paychecks but limited savings for the down payment. Between the rent, the student loans, and the daily expenses, saving for down payment, saving for the first lump sum, it could feel miles apart. Now, so many times families decide to use a portion of their home equity to fund this down payment for their kids' home. Of course, they have to go through different factors, like it's going to be a gift or a loan, how it affects the parents' finances, and if the kid is actually financially ready for the homeownership now. But if they decide to do that, it can actually accelerate the process of entering the homeownership. And it also allows the next generation to start building equity of their own. Another practical strategy is restructuring expensive debt. Now, there are so many families that carry debt with very high interest rate, especially the credit cards, and their interest rates can go anywhere from 18% to 25% or sometimes even more. Now, the idea is to consolidate these high interest rate balances with lower cost borrowing. So, for example, $40,000 at 22% interest rate is far more expensive than $40,000 at 7% interest rate. There is one very important thing to remember though. The credit card debt is an unsecured debt, and the equity loan is a secured loan against the home. So this idea makes sense only and only with a very disciplined financial plan. For many homeowners, their home is the largest asset they will ever own. So the real power, it's not in just having the equity. It's in understanding what that equity can do for you. Maybe it can help you move into the next stage of your life. Maybe it can create an income for you or support your family, or maybe just some financial flexibility in life. The key is not using the equity impulsively. It's in using it intentionally. So make sure before doing something, numbers make sense. See you next time.